Okay, so here is the answer to making a grid of lines. So I'm going to uncomment it, and I'll just run it to demonstrate, to prove to myself that it works. Hey, look, it's grids. So we've now made a graph paper generator. So if you're ever short of graph paper at home, you can like do this and print it out. I have the save frame down here. It just saves it as a picture. I'm saving it as this file. It just shows up inside my data folder. So there you go. Now you can generate graph paper, and you can adjust it to the exact specifications you want it to be. So anyways, this is the answer. Basically, I just took the vertical line and the horizontal line code and stuck it into the same while loop. It's not really very different. And because it's a square, it works just fine. If it wasn't a square, I might need to do a little bit more work to make sure it keeps on going. But you can see that's the line of code from the vertical lines. Is the exact same thing. And this is the line of code from the horizontal lines. And this is mostly just to show you that you can put more than one line of code into the thing that you're repeating. You can put as many lines of code as you want. You can make all sorts of different patterns by changing or adding in more types of things. Here's another example. We could throw in a new line of code. What if you were to change the stroke as you go? So what if you were to make the stroke, for example, random? So if I was to put in a stroke and make a random number from 0 to 255. So if I had a random stroke and I repeat this over and over again, then each time I go to draw a line, I'll get a different shade of gray. And that gets repeated as well, right? So all these things are getting repeated. So if I run that, I'll get some weirdo graph paper with sort of different patterns and things going on. You'll notice that any particular crisscrossing set of lines are going to be the same color, right? Because I'm using that stroke for both the vertical and the horizontal. So as I go across, we'll get it kind of looks like a pattern is kind of getting built into there because there's similarities of the crisscrossing lines. But you could do sort of separate. I could do a separate one for the horizontal and the vertical and make it even more random, I guess. But it doesn't really look that different, does it? And if you wanted to make it sort of different shades of colors, you could open this up to be, 3 random numbers to make the red, green, blue, and you can get all sorts of stuff going on where you got a rainbow of colors. And it's just kind of neat that it just could produce that effect so quickly. I didn't really add much code in there, right? I just made one new line of code. And because I'm using randomness in here, that randomness gets tiled over and over again. So we can get some cool patterns going on. So now you have if you are short on time trying to wrap a sibling's birthday present, you now have a piece of code that will generate wrapping paper. You can just print that out on your computer and fold that around the gift you're giving, as long as it's small enough, I guess, to fit in there. Okay, so there's an example of a cool thing you can do with loops. I'll show you your next one. We're going to do 2 at a time, because if you can get one, you could probably get the other one. But this one's tricky, a little bit trickier than you might think. We're going to do diagonal lines this time. So only one line function required. We'll call to the line function. But this one's going to be tricky for different reasons. So there's a number of different ways to do it, but see if you can create this diagonal lines thing going on. And I'll give you a hint. I am drawing lines that go beyond the boundaries of the screen. So the line, all these lines are the same length, and this one here, that's the diagonal that cuts across, is that you can see that's the actual length of all of these lines, but they're starting off screen and they're going across and they're ending off screen as well. So there's a hint for you. Okay, so give that one a shot, and if you finish that, you could go diagonal the other way. So go this way instead, or whichever way you want to go. It doesn't matter. But if you finish one, try and make it go the other way, and make 2 different while loops. And you just comment out the previous while loop to move forward. All right, good luck.